Episode 212. Who can start the Ferrari? The people in the box were amazed to see the car, and they stared at it in awe. "It's a great car. Look at it," said one guy. "I thought Jason's car was a top sports car, but this one's way better," said his friend. "Yes, now Jason's car doesn't seem so amazing," the first guy agreed. Jane frowned and made a gesture to her friends that they should be quiet. She muttered to her friends, "Jason is right here and can hear what you're saying. He won't be happy if you keep belittling his car." However, Jason wasn't angry. After all, the Ferrari wasn't even his. He also looked at the white sports car with envy and muttered, "That car is better than mine. Anyone who can afford a car like that must be richer than David." Then he suddenly remembered something and said, "Wait a minute. I think I heard something about that car." "What did you hear?" Jane asked with a puzzled expression. "Did you hear that a few months ago, the president of Ferrari came to New York in person to deliver one of the most expensive Ferraris in history to a mysterious buyer? I'm sure it's this car," Jason said excitedly. "Oh yes, I remember. I think this is the one. I saw in the news that it was also a white Ferrari," Jane replied. "Damn it, it's an expensive car. His identity has always been a mystery. But there's no doubt that he must be one of the wealthiest people in the country." The people in the square were also astonished by the car and were taking pictures and videos of it on their cell phones. When the Ferrari slowed down, the crowd gathered around it. As it moved slowly through the crowd, everyone was admiring it. Then the car stopped. A door lifted, and two beautiful girls stepped out. One had gorgeous long hair, and her face was exquisite. It was Kelly Phillips. The other girl had curly hair and was her best friend, Sharon Williams. When Alex saw Kelly, he was happy initially. But when he thought about the day that he left New York, he couldn't help but feel sad. When the girls stepped out of the car, everyone exclaimed their surprise that such a cool and high-class sports car was being driven by a girl. It had such a powerful engine. When Kelly realized that she had parked the car in the way of the other drivers, she decided to move it. She said to Ferrari, "Whirlwind, start. Find a suitable location to park." The crowd watching looked at each other in confusion. They could not understand what Kelly was doing. There was no one in the car, so who was she talking to? Suddenly, the engine roared and everyone jumped. Then, something happened that shocked them even more. The Ferrari started to move. Some people wiped their eyes in disbelief. What they were seeing couldn't possibly be true. They watched the driverless Ferrari reverse, then turn, then slowly stop at the edge of the square. "It's a voice-controlled Ferrari!" someone shouted. His friend said, "Let me see it. I can't believe it. As far as I know, that's the most advanced technology available. It's only just been developed in Italy and hasn't been used in commercial cars yet. How can this car have it?" "How wonderful. This must be the best car in the world," someone else said. Everyone looked at the car in awe. Sharon put her arm around Kelly's shoulder and whispered, "Kelly, it's so cool to come out in your car today. I feel like a movie star everywhere we go. It's so great that you finally decided to take the car out instead of leaving it at home to collect dust." Kelly said with a smile, "I know, but remember, this car is actually Alex's. When he left New York, the manager of Metro Skybank sent it to my house. Although he said that I could use it at any time, I was too scared because it's not mine, and it's so valuable. I'm so afraid I'll damage it. Sharon said with a smile, I think even if you did damage it, Alex wouldn't make you pay for it. Nonsense. Even if we are friends, any repairs would cost a fortune. Of course we would have to pay for it, Kelly said. Ignore me. I forgot that you always stick up for Alex. Sharon winked at Kelly and asked softly, Kelly, did you really come to see the games? Or did you come to see Alex? I've told you so many times, I just want to watch the games. It's not about Alex, Kelly replied. Well, arriving in a sports car like this, he's surely going to notice you. You must realize that it'll increase the chance that we'll meet him. However, Kelly hadn't considered that. She really was trying to forget about Alex, and she had assumed that it would be almost impossible to bump into him at the stadium. By that time, the crowd around the Ferrari was enormous. Some were live streaming from their phones and sharing the footage on Trist, while others were taking selfies with it. Some were circling around it, carefully inspecting every detail. However, none of them dared to touch the car, in case they accidentally left fingerprints on it. Some onlookers remembered the words that Kelly had used to control the car and started to wonder if they could do it. Some people started trying. Whirlwind, start! Open the door, one said. Whirlwind, start! Reverse, said another. Whirlwind, start! Someone else shouted excitedly. More and more people were trying to start the car, and everyone was getting excited. Jason and the others in the box had stopped looking at the Ferrari below them, but they could still hear everyone praising it. Jason sat next to Lindsay and said, By the way, Miss Marvel, I have a surprise for you. Knowing that I would be seeing you today, I contacted a friend and asked for a favor. He has arranged for us to go horseback riding in the national park. He's reserved 2 riding teachers for us today. Please agree to go with me. David had arranged the excursion for him and had arranged a romantic picnic afterward. It was all designed to help Jason win Lindsay's favor. Lindsay replied, Thank you, but I'm not interested. Alex and I will stay here to watch the game. Jane quickly stepped in. She advised, Lindsay, don't say that. Jason has gone to a lot of trouble to organize this for you, and his friend has booked the riding teachers. Can't you see that if you don't go, that will put everyone in a difficult position? Lindsay thought for a few seconds, sighed, and said to Alex, Okay, Alex, let's both go. Jason looked happy as he said, Great, let's go now. They walked out of the stadium. When they reached Jason's sports car, he said to the group, You all go to the bar or something. Miss Marvel and I are going horseback riding. Lindsay tightened her grip on Alex's arm, looked at Jason and said, What did you say? You think you and I are going? No, I'm going with Alex. Jason was so jealous that he gritted his teeth and lied. Miss Marvel, my friend has booked the riding lessons for you and me. They said that they will only do it for us. Jane quickly echoed, Yes, Lindsay, you should go with Jason. It would be no fun with this loser anyway. Yes, Miss Marvel, go with Jason, said one of his friends. That loser isn't even worthy of being your friend, said another. Jason is much better than that peasant, said another. Jason walked over to Alex and shoved him. He said, Look at me, loser. Don't you see that Miss Marvel and I have plans today? What are you still doing here? Alex tried to push Jason away, but Lindsay got there first. She stepped in front of Alex, pushed Jason back, and glared at him. She said, "What are you doing? I don't want to go with you. Go away." "Miss Marvel, Jason was speechless. He tried to suppress his fury. When he looked at Lindsay's angry expression, he knew that she was determined not to go with him, so he apologized and said, "Okay, I'm wrong. Miss Marvel, please don't be angry with me." Jane stood up for Jason again. She said, "Yes, it's fine. We're all friends here. Lindsay, don't hate Jason. He's a really good guy," she continued. "Let's all go and look at that white Ferrari." Lindsay looked at Jane for the moment, then followed the group of friends over to the white Ferrari. They saw the excited crowd surrounding it and heard people saying, "Whirlwind, start up," to the car. It seemed that everyone was trying to see if they could activate the voice control mechanism. "That's amazing. This car is voice controlled. Let's see if we can make the car move a little bit," Jason said. Then he tried it. "Whirlwind, start." As the rest of the crowd tried it, the Ferrari didn't move. "I can't, but I think Lindsay should try." Jason looked at Lindsay and said, "Miss Marvel, why don't you try it?" Lindsay saw that everyone was enjoying trying to move the car, so she said to Ferrari, "Whirlwind, start." Lindsay also waved to encourage the Ferrari to move, but the car didn't start. She laughed happily. "It won't even move for Lindsay. I think the Ferrari must be deaf," Jason said with a smile. "I'll try too." Jane was also excited. She said to Ferrari, "Whirlwind, start." Jane's friends also came to join in the fun. "I'll try too. Whirlwind, start," said one. Another said, "I don't believe it. Whirlwind, start." "I'm sure I can do it. Whirlwind, start. Drive. Start," said another. Everyone yelled. Jason noticed that Alex was the only one who didn't try. He looked at him and said, "Well, buddy, why don't you try it too?" Alex ignored him. Lindsay approached Alex and whispered, "Alex, have a try. It's fun. You see, everyone is trying." "Well, that doesn't mean I need to try as well," Alex said as he smiled and shook his head. He knew that if he tried it, the car would actually start. Everyone would be gobsmacked. Even worse, the sound of the car starting would probably attract Kelly's attention. And he really didn't want to have to face her. When Alex refused to join in, Jane and her friends started to see it as a good chance to put him down. They started to criticize him. One said, "He's unbelievable." "Yes, we're all just having fun, and he's refusing to join in. Does he think he's better than the rest of us?" said another. One girl said, "Really, I don't like hanging out with people like him." Jason had been feeling very disgruntled with Alex all day. He felt that if Alex hadn't been there, he would have been chatting and laughing with Lindsay. He walked up to him and said coldly, "You stupid loser. How dumb are you? What makes you think you can look down on us? Of course you know there's no point in you even trying. You would never be able to get the Ferrari to start." Lindsay was so angry that she wanted to yell at Jason. However, as she stepped toward him, Alex put his hand on her shoulder and whispered that she should leave it. "Jason, if I get this Ferrari to start with my voice, what will you do?" he asked calmly. Jason and his friends burst into laughter. He said, "Oh man, my stomach hurts from laughing so much. This little loser thinks he can start the Ferrari. I've met idiots before, but Never anyone as stupid as him.